What's on your mind, child? Tell me all your troubles. What's on your mind?
So one thing I would recommend doing before heading to camp is either asking around or researching the weather conditions. I mean, if you're from the area, obviously you'll know, but I was going to a different place, Kaduna, and I didn't know that it got really, really cold in the mornings. Like we had to wake up at 4 a.m., so it was really, really, yeah, it got really cold. So make sure you research that. If you are going to Kaduna or one of the northern states that get really cold at points in time, obviously a sweater or a wrapper would be, or a blanket would be, important. I think because I did not have that for the first 2 weeks until, I had to buy it. So definitely recommend that. Do your research. Like I said, I keep on saying, prepare yourself mentally so you're not surprised. Another thing I'd recommend doing is preparing yourself for the insects. Bringing your insect repellent and your mosquito nets is key. Making sure you air out your mosquito nets um, the first few days before coming to camp is crucial because I bought my mosquito net at the Miami market, and it was also twice the price. So definitely would recommend buying it outside of the camp. But I bought it at the camp, and so I had to wait a few days for it to air out. I know there's the whole thing where it has to air out, and even when I did use it, I ended up with some rashes from it. So definitely would recommend the mosquito net, like preparing that before coming to camp, and also insect repellent, of course, because mosquitoes in Nigeria, they don't play no games, yo. It's deep, but yeah, definitely, especially with the fresh blood, the fresh American, or I don't know, I don't know, the fresh blood. Anyway, so some other things I would recommend: either a hand fan, a handkerchief, or like a small towel. So these are things to keep you cool and dry. So in Kaduna, it got cold in the mornings, but it also got really, really sunny during the day, like up until like probably like 5 or 6 o'clock, and we were outside for most of the day. So definitely, and I think I got used to it after a while, but still, you will need it was more of dry heat versus humidity anyway, so I think that was the good thing about it. But still, maybe like a hand fan or a handkerchief or, like I said, a face towel just to keep yourself cool. For people who put on makeup, to keep your makeup on fleek. I did not have time for that. But yes, those are some things that I would recommend also. Of course, wherever you go in Nigeria, you want to make sure you bring in things that you can do when there's no lights, because the whole PHC and NEPA thing is a thing. Like there are blackouts. They take light, yes, especially at camp. I don't know why I expected there to be more light, but there wasn't. Just don't expect much from the government, is basically what I'm saying. So bring things like novels, maybe some cheap earphones to listen to music, but also you want to remember that you want to try and conserve your power because, there are no outlets in your room for charging your phone. Well, more like I think you should expect there to not be outlets. I think I was very lucky that I did have some outlets in our room. BB wipes and hand sanitizer. Definitely recommend that because there were points of time at the Kaduna camp where water was an issue. Like I said, don't depend on the government for anything. So you could use pure water if you wanted to, but if you want to like legitimately like wash your hands, like bring like some hand sanitizing wipes, hand sanitizer like before you eat and all that stuff, because I think that will help you cut back on your likelihood of getting diarrhea from eating their food. But yes, would definitely recommend hand sanitizer, hand sanitizing wipes, baby wipes for your face. For me, I had to use baby wipes along with like handkerchiefs and like a small towel to like just wipe my face down, like because it was so hot. So I would definitely recommend those things. Baby wipes are always useful. Like there's never a point in time where you don't need baby wipes. That's how I feel about these things. But I would definitely recommend those. Padlocks. Padlocks are key. No pun intended. Oh my gosh, that was actually horrible. Did not intend to do that. But I would recommend a padlock and either a suitcase or a travel box that can be locked because you don't want your suitcase to be the only suitcase that's not locked. Everyone's locking their things because they're trying to make sure that their things are not stolen. So make sure, especially with someone like who's coming in from a different country with an obvious accent. Like I don't have a Nigerian accent, so I could not fake a Nigerian accent at that point, and still up till now. But make sure you have your things locked because you will more likely be a target if you are an international student. Slippers. So slippers would be something definitely to bring. It's like boarding school life there. So you need your slippers to walk around, to shower. You can't walk around barefoot. I would not recommend it because it's so sandy everywhere. So definitely recommend bringing slippers. And for slippers, you could buy them inside the Miami Market or outside. They were obviously a bit expensive inside the Miami Market, but not significantly. Not that point where you're like, but like, yeah, so they weren't that expensive. It's one of those things you can buy anywhere. I would recommend them though. Also, make sure you label them so that, people know that they're your slippers. So when they get stolen or something, like mine did, I was not able to find mine because I didn't label mine. But if they do get stolen, among the 2,000 people there, you might just be able to find them because they were labeled. Bedding and pillows that you would never use again. Honestly, the mattresses are nothing to write home about. I think you can buy pillows at the Miami Market, but they were so hard, so I just didn't even use it in the end. So I would recommend cheap, comfortable pillows from outside of camp and really cheap bedding that's comfortable, but like you're gonna probably throw it away after those 3 weeks because, yeah, like I said, those mattresses were not cute, yo. Yeah. So definitely bring bedding that you would never use again. Yeah. Oh, and I would also recommend bringing maybe 2 sets because there'll be points in time when you want to wash them or have someone wash them for you. And depending on how hot it is, it might take a while to dry. So you don't want to be in a situation where you are about to sleep and you don't have bedding because the mattresses are horrible, guys. I don't know if I've said that enough. So yeah, make sure you have an extra set of bedding. Of course, keep them well, label them. That's why I said make sure you won't use them again because you want to label them, make sure people know that it's yours. So permanent markers, right? I've been talking about labeling your things. Just make sure that you bring 1 or 2 permanent markers with you so you can label your slippers, your buckets, everything basically, and make sure it's conspicuous, like, because there were some, like, I actually had a pair of gym shoes that I labeled and it was like very small label or like very small name on it, and they got stolen and I wasn't able to find them because I guess it wasn't as obvious, like the sign, and obviously there were like 2,000 people there, so it would be very difficult to find. But even when you have things labeled, they're less likely to be stolen because at least the person knows that, they're more likely to be found out if it is stolen. So definitely would recommend permanent markers, and make sure when you're labeling your things that you're very conspicuous. Like, it's very conspicuous. Like, it's so key to it because there's no point in labeling your things if you can't tell if it's yours from outside. I learned a lot about that from my stolen gym shoes because I had to buy another pair. But whatever, that's besides the point. So yeah, permanent markers.
Secret problems, maybe I can help you solve them. Time child is all you need and